Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to the channel for another episode in our series. And I am delighted to be joined for the first time on the channel by Gordon Elliott. Gordon, how are things? You well?
Yeah, good. Yeah, thanks very much, and thanks for having me on.
No problem at all. Thanks for giving me your time. I really do appreciate it. Gonna have obviously a little bit of discussion about some of your horses, Gordon. But before we do, you must get really excited this sort of time of year. All of your good horses coming back, the new recruits, the mood in the yard must be great around now.
Yeah, it's always a great time of the year. The horses are just back in, doing probably easy enough work at the moment, but looking forward to the winter. We've a lot of nice young horses in, and a good bunch of staff. Everyone's in good form, and yeah, it's great.
Do you miss it over the summer, Gordon? I know you obviously have the odd runner on the flat, but do you miss the jumps racing? I know you go on your holidays and your trips, but this is your passion, isn't it? As well as your role, your job, and your lifestyle, basically. But do you miss it in the summer too?
Yeah, look, it's obviously a few easy weeks is nice, but look, to
Yeah.
be honest, I'm not that big a man for a holiday. A couple of days away here and there does me. But yeah, no, look, I love what I do, and very lucky to be in the position I'm in.
Fantastic. Well, Gordon, let's crack on with some of your horses then, because, and we may as well start with what I'd call is your team captain, Tia Hoopu, lovely 8-year-old with an official rating of 162. Gordon, he's won 12 of his 19 starts for you, which obviously includes five grade ones. Before we look ahead to the season, how has he been? Has he enjoyed his summer? Come back kicking?
Yeah, look, he's had a good holiday. He's actually not back yet. He
Okay.
actually goes to Robert Powers for a few weeks to do a bit of pre-training, so he'll come back to us soon enough, I suppose. Look, he's a horse we don't want to over race. Whether we go to Fairy House this year or go a different route, we'll see. I'm sort of time with maybe bringing him over to England for the Grade One before Christmas, 3 mile Grade One. Uh, that's what I'm half thinking. I think 2.5 miles the way the ground can be in Fairy Hill sometimes now could be a bit short from, as he gets a bit
Mm.
older. But yeah, no, he's in great form. Look, he didn't do much wrong last year, only I suppose he was unlucky. He just got bet in Cheltenham, but he didn't do anything wrong on the day. But he was very good back at Punchestown.
Yeah, I was going to say he must have been delighted with the way that he sort of bounced back at the end of the season because, like you say, didn't do anything wrong. Is the plan of obviously the long term plan is going to be Cheltenham? Is it by design you're going to keep him nice and fresh for the day, or are you a different tactic this year?
I think he likes to run fresh, to be honest.
Okay.
When we go to Fairy House. For the race he's gone for the last couple of years, or you've that 3 mile Grade One in Ascot, which I'll definitely time with. Obviously, I have to speak to Brian and the whole team and see what they're thinking. But I think maybe if we took Ascot in on the way, maybe onto Cheltenham then and back to Punchestown,
Did you ever consider like schooling him over fences as a younger horse, Gordon, just out of curiosity, or?
Look, it was discussed, I suppose, at one stage, but look,
Mm.
he seems to be right up the top of the pile and them type, and then good 3 mile staying races. So look at I think at this stage we'll keep him over hurdles.
Perfect, perfect. Brighter days ahead. Lovely 6-year-old, again, winner of nine of her 12 starts. Um, how has she come back into the yard with another summer on her back? She's quite a big mare, Gordon, isn't she? So I guess fitness is tough for her initially.
She looks brilliant, so she does. She came back in very strong. Look, there was a little issue at the end of last year. I think we've ironed it out. But she's back in working away. The plan is to go chasing, and she'll start off early November, mid-November in the chase somewhere. But she looks very strong. Shane McCann, who rides her every day, is very happy with her. So yeah, she's definitely going chasing, and we're looking forward to running her.
Fantastic, because she's by a proper old-fashioned sire, isn't she? With Cap Guard. Have you schooled her this year or last season, or will it
Uh,
be a
she's-
fresh angle?
no, she has to school this year. She has to school this year at all yet. But she has schooled over fences and hurdles. She's a very, very good jumper. And yeah, look, she was bought to be a chaser. Most of the Jigginstown horses are. She looks like a big chaser. She looks like a gelding. And we're looking forward to going chasing with her.
Because you're not afraid to take on the boys, but I imagine with her, you'd like to stay down the mare's chase route. It sort of maps out a really good plan to Cheltenham, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah, look, we play up a year. But I mean, getting the sex allowance is massive, and I wouldn't be afraid to take the boys on.
Perfect. And you've got another smart mare now, Gordon Would do the 5-year-old. She has just skyrocketed up to a mark of 154. Hugely impressive, winning seven of her 8 starts, and her only defeat came at the hands of Lottie Mouth, winner of the Martin Pike. You must have been delighted with her last year, especially with the last race at Cheltenham as well. We know it means a lot to you.
Yeah, look, it was badly needed. We had one of them Cheltenhams who just hit the crossbar with everything. The horses were running well, and but we just weren't getting the rub of the green. But that's the game we're in. It's
Mm.
sport. Yeah, Woodhill was in great form. She's come back in strong again. You wouldn't recognise her when you see her. Like she looks like a gelding as well. But yeah, she's one we're really excited about this year. I'd imagine she'll start off probably in Hatton's Grace in Fairyhouse, 2.5 mile grade one. That's where we're looking at. We'll start off with her, and we'll work back from there. If she didn't win that, she could go for all them mares races with no grade one penalty. And if she ends up winning a grade one, well then brilliant. But she's owned by a good bunch of friends of mine, and we're having great fun over, and we're really looking forward to going jumping again this year. Look, we had Heidwick running on the flat, but I think we put that in pause for the time being.
Is it easy enough to train at home as well, Gordon, as a
Yeah,
mare?
yeah, she's a lady, so she's very straightforward. She's actually not very flashy at home. She doesn't do anything
Okay.
fancy, but she's good.
Yeah, she seems quite flashy on the track though, doesn't she? She sort of knows
Yeah,
what she knows her job well anyway. With her, you said about potentially going to the Hatton's Grace. Has that got anything to do with a potential change in plan with Tia Hooper? Would you be happy to pitch them
no.
in together if any?
If the ground come up very soft in Fairyhouse, well then there's every chance TP will be there. But if it's
Fine.
the type of ground it was for the last couple of years, I might look a different direction.
Okay, fantastic. Gordon, you've got one of my favorite horses in your yard actually is the Yellow Clay. He had a near sort of perfect campaign last year. Maiden Hurdle, won a grade three, a grade two, the Lawlers of Nace, and then ran a big race again at Cheltenham. I'm not sure what you're going to do with him because he's not short of speed, but you could keep him over hurdles. You could go stayers hurdle. You could try him in an Arkle. Where do you feel he could be for this season? Obviously, you've got plenty of ammo to go to battle with in these races.
I'm going to keep him over hurdles, to be honest.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking at the moment. Look, we'll probably start him off either up and down Royal in that I think it's a grade three now. Is it the novice hurdle? It's the conditions have changed a little bit. We'll either start him off up there, or maybe is it Lismullen hurdle and Navan 2 weeks later. So yeah, he's in good form, and we're looking forward to starting him off. He's a horse, actually. You're very right. You could see me maybe starting him off over two, but it wouldn't shock me if you saw him at 3 miles at some stage during the season.
Okay, lovely. He's a very straightforward horse as well. Seems to get better through his races, which is why I think maybe you might
Yeah,
consider going up in trip, perhaps.
yeah. No, I think we definitely could. It's definitely something we'll be thinking about. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to go on to one of the KTDA horses now. Romeo Coolio, 6-year-old, official rating of 150. Good horse is a bumper horse, graded winner over hurdles as well. But he's always looked like a horse that's going to be more progressive as a chaser. Got a nice blend of speed and stamina. Similar to the Yellow Clay, Gordon, you could go up or down with him. Have you got any starting point, and where are you leaning towards at the moment, long term?
I think you're not going to see the best of this horse till he jumps a fence. The way he jumps a hurdle, he even jumped him like a fence. Just discussing it with a few of my team yesterday. You know, I think I could start him off only from 2 to 2.5 miles. I think the cruising speed he has and the way he jumps, I think if he just uses stride over fences, he could be very good over fences. And at the moment, I think we'll keep the 2 miles maybe and work up from there. But I think anything two to 2.5 miles won't be a problem. He looks brilliant. He's come in very strong this year. He just can't run away. Again, you'll probably see him starting off early November, mid-November. But yeah, I think he could be bang up there in a good 2 mile chase this year.
Perfect. Okay. Another one that you've got, which just seemed to improve out of nowhere. Honesty Policy won that point in October, and by April he's a Grade One winner at Aintree. That's just a remarkable rise. Some people may not even understand, but that is a quick rise in class for such a nice horse coming from the point rack so soon.
Yeah, he's actually very very well named because the one thing he is honest. He's very tough. He stepped up through all the ranks last year. He won an entry. I thought in Punchestown he was very very good. Um, he was only beaten a neck or half a net in Punchestown. Whether we stay over hurdles or go jump fences, it just hasn't been decided yet with him. But
Okay.
he's back in. He looks great. But there's no plan being made yet. We'll just get him keep him canter away for a few more weeks, and we'll have a conversation and see what happens. But there's nothing concrete with him. But uh, he could go chasing or he could stay over hurdles. He's he's plenty of options there for him.
Brilliant, great stuff. Jerry Kalam, I know he hasn't been the most straightforward for you, Gordon, but again, he's a five-time sort of Grade One winner. We haven't seen him since Down Royal. I mean, first of all, how is he? I feel like you've got unfinished business with him personally. I feel like you know what horse you have at home here.
Yeah, look, obviously, he was second in the Gold Cup, and last year wasn't straightforward. We just didn't get a clean run with him, and we decided to pull stumps with him. He's back in Roberts as well. He's doing a bit of pre-training before he comes back. There's a bit of flat work. Um, Look, whether we throw him straight in the deep end of the Grade One or not, I wouldn't be sure. I suppose it's a couple of years since he won a Grade One now, so he's no Grade One penalty, so he can run them Grade Twos and Threes. So I imagine we'll start him off there and let him tell us what road we go. And you know, whether he ends up back in the Gold Cup or in the Grand National, who knows? But looking forward to getting him back to Cullen and seeing where we are.
Do you ever consider possibly bringing him over something for like the Betfair Chase over this side of the water, perhaps?
Listen, there's enough prize money in Ireland, so there is that.
Okay.
Obviously we do like to go over there a good bit, but I'm not saying no, but we might keep him at home to start off.
Perfect. Okay. The Wall Park, another really progressive sort. I know he finished third in the Stayers Hurdle, but he's one that could still be improving. Um, I'd say what you found out, I suppose, at Cheltenham was that he is a confirmed Grade One animal and gives you something to build on for this season. How is he physically, Gordon, as well, since he come back, if he's back at the yard yet?
Yeah, he looks great. He's a horse that puts on an awful lot of condition
Mm.
during the summer. But he looks good. He could stay in the hurdle route again this year, or we could go chasing again. It hasn't been decided. Um, just I suppose he's had a few chances at Grade Ones, and just he's been hitting the crossbar without really winning. So, Joe, sometimes if you keep going back to the well with them horses, you could give them very hard races. I suppose he's big enough to jump a fence, and probably was bought to jump a fence. So I'd say we could probably see him over a fence this year more than likely.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Moving on to there's just two more horses quickly, then I'm going to run through some newcomers very briefly. King of Kingsfield, he didn't live in the shadows of brighter days ahead, but he was well used last year as a pacemaker to bring everything forward for brighter days ahead. But this year, his two chase starts have been flawless. I've actually put him in my horses to follow, Gordon. So I'm hoping that you're going to tell me, there could be another big pot in him because he seems to jump fences like a natural. He's got the same rating over hurdles as he does over fences, but he's had very little time over fences. Could there be more to come from him? Is there a long-term plan potentially?
I think you could see him in Roscommon in a few weeks' time in a
Okay.
grade three. There's every chance then he could go back to Punchestown, I think, because it's for a grade two. Uh, Maybe it's a grade three. I just haven't got it in front of me. And then we'll probably give him a little break during the kind of winter, real heavy ground. He doesn't really want heavy ground, but definitely, I think you're not you're spot on. He last year he kind of done a lot of the donkey work for the mayor. Um, but this year I think jumping the fence he could come into his own. He's been very good in his first two runs. And I think he definitely be a graded one over a graded winner over fences this year.
Fantastic. Classical Creep, Gordon. Love this horse. A good friend of mine, Sean Dunn, actually requested I ask you about this horse as well. Quite highly touted last season. Could be anything this year based on what I can see on paper and how he handled his bumper year. Where do you feel he is at for the coming season?
To be honest, he was never really a bumper horse. If you look at him, he's such a big, good-looking horse. Like
Okay.
he's like a big 3 mile chaser. So anything he done was a bonus. And that's fair. But he looks brilliant. I was actually looking at him yesterday in the stable, and I was thinking, like on looks, you'd buy him every day of the week. He looks class. Um, yeah, he could be exciting. He could be a very good staying hurdler. I think 2.5 to 3 miles over hurdles. Um, Again, I'd be shocked if you don't see him in great company sooner rather than later.
Excellent. Great to hear. Thank you very much. Gordon, I'm going to fly through a couple of newcomers now that you've got in the yard. This will take only a couple of minutes, but I'm really excited by a few. I'm going to start with Grange Clare Park, who was obviously a big money purchase for KTDA, won by 18 lengths at the Curramore, showed all of the attributes that you like in sort of like a nice staying chaser. He was given an RPR of 95, which is one of the highest I think that has been given this season. I don't know how much you can tell me about these at the moment and how much work you would have even done, but from what we can see, he looks hugely exciting, and hopefully the money buy sort of matches that when he gets to a course.
Look, he looked very exciting when he won his point to point. There's plenty of talk about him before he won. He won very impressively. We were lucky to get him. But yeah, look, he's back in, he's cantering away. We haven't done anything serious with him. Um, but he physically he looks well, and he probably one you'll see starting off in the bumper there, sort of mid-November somewhere. I'm not sure where we'll start him off yet, but he looks exciting. But again, he's one for the future. Whatever he does this year is just going to be a bonus to go jumping in time.
Excellent. Hernando de Soto. Now, he didn't cost as much as Grange Clare Park, but he is still part of the KTDA operation. This is the one for me, Gordon, that stands out this season. I think it's because he looks like he jumps. He's got a bit of pace. He'll probably stay. I think he'll win bumpers, hurdle races, and chase races, obviously, if everything goes to plan long term. Do you see him as that sort of horse yourself, or
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. What you're saying, he's a horse. He showed a lot of pace that day. I was at the point to point that day myself. He showed a lot of pace. Um, yeah, look, we start him off in the bumper, but he mightn't just be. I'm hoping anyway that he's not just a big 3 mile chaser or two and
okay?
a half, 3 mile horse. I, I think when I saw that day at the point to point, he showed a bit of pace, and we're really looking forward to him.
When he popped over the last, he was sort of he quickened without really being asked a question, which I quite liked. I suppose
Yeah,
it's good sign of
no,
experience.
yeah. Look, he obviously came out of a good school in the Holdens to do a very, very good job on their horses. Yeah, no, I think. Well, I'm looking forward to him anyway. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Let me caution a lovely 4-year-old from Colin Bow for Giggins Town, one at Monk's Grange, again, a high RPR. Can you tell me much about him at the moment, Gordon? How much would you have done, by the way, with your point-to-point horses at this point? Very little, I
Very
assume.
little, very little. Yeah, when they were bought to sales or bought privately, they'd come into the yard for a while and just to get to know them and get to see what they're like. But at the moment, to be honest, it's hard to split one up from the other. They all look well. If I'm telling you something's working well or doing something like that at the moment, I'm telling you a lie. But they all look very well, and yeah, exciting times.
When you buy your pointers, French horses, do you look for particular sires or do you look for what you can see visually, what's happened on the track? And
Ah, listen, you always like to see a good pedigree, but what you see
mm,
with the visual eye, I think sometimes can tell you more than anything. But we're lucky we've got horses from all spheres, from bumpers, point to points from France. So yeah, look, we've a nice bunch of horses, and we've had a great start to the season, so we're hoping to keep it going.
you mentioned that you've got a few from France. You've got a lovely 3-year-old filly who's been the talk of Twitter at the moment called Mange 2. She absolutely bolted up at Compiègne as a runaway winner. I think she's a half sister to Imperi Pass actually as well. Been bought by Rob Core. Again, I suppose, is there much to report on her at this early stage?
She looks nice. I was actually at the point to point, or not at the point to point. I was at the races in France that day
Okay.
myself. The day she won, and I thought she was very, very impressive. What she beat on the day, it's hard to know sometimes coming out of them races. But to the eye, she looked well, looked good. She's back in. She looks strong. She's cantering away. So hopefully she'll be lucky for Rockcore.
Do you think we'll see her soon or a little bit later towards the end of the year, perhaps? I'm not too
Look,
sure at the moment.
she's obviously a winner. You could see her maybe start. She could start off in Down Royal in that winner's hurdle, or we could keep her maybe for Fairy House for the graded hurdle there. But there's a great program for them fillies, in the UK as well. So she'd be one. I wouldn't be shocked if you see me traveling with her as well. There's some nice races in the UK that you could see her running up in as well.
Potentially sort of like Kempton and the Adonis and things like that, possibly.
No, you've got them juvenile 3 year old hurdlers. There's a couple of them. Is there one in Newbury and there's two or three.
Chepstow.
Woodhu went to a few of them there the year when she was a juvenile.
Of course you did. Yeah, I remember. Of course. Yeah.
There's a good program for them, so we'll see how we go.
Fantastic. Two more. Manoir de Morand, the lovely Itch Gino 3-year-old. Again, an easy winner over at Moulin. highly touted with Gigginstown, I believe, Gordon. Again, is there much you can tell me at this point in time? Very impressive visually as well.
Yeah, look at again. I can't tell you much. Only all the horses all the new horses that have come in look great. Yeah, so looking forward to them.
And finally, Lascar du Matin, another twice a winner actually already in France. Looks sort of a ready-made horse to go straight hurdling, perhaps over the juveniles.
Yeah, he came out of where did he come out of? He came out of we've an awful lot of young horses after coming back in, so you kind of have me on the spot now.
That's okay.
He came out.
Okay.
I think he came out of Noel George's. Yeah,
He did.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, he's is he a 4-year-old, isn't he? Yeah,
Uh, four. Yeah, 4 year old now.
yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, he's a 4-year-old. That's what you got me in the spot there. You said a
Sorry.
juvenile.
Apologies. That's my problem.
Not at
Sorry.
all, not at all. No, he's a 4-year-old. Listen, the birds and the bees were talking about this lad after he won that he was the next coming. He's a gorgeous looking horse, and he's been cantering away. He's one we're really excited about. He's not a novice, which I suppose is going to leave it a little bit tough for him. So I'd imagine he'd probably start off. There's that 4-year-old hurling Nace. Is it the Limestone lad? I think it's the Limestone lad. It might be called. No, it's not. What's it called? There's a 4-year-old grade at racing Ace that we might start him off with. That's what I'm thinking at the moment.
Is it the Liz Mullen, or have I got that confused? I'm getting them all confused here.
Liz Mullins and Nav and
Of course it is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I know the race
uh,
you mean. It's early season anyway. Early
yeah,
season.
yeah, in the Ace, yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Gordon, thank you so much for doing that. That is my list. But I would just like one horse from you as a horse to follow. It doesn't have to be a superstar, a horse that we can enjoy following through the season. We might pick up a few wins along the way.
Um, look, you have to mention a lot of them. If I pick one out of any
Fair
of
enough.
them, I'm doing the rest of them disjustice. But listen, obviously, I'm looking forward to all the older horses. But I suppose Wood, who stepping up, she's going to be an open company this year, so it's going to be interesting what she can do. But she's one I'm really excited about.
Brilliant. Gordon, thank you so much for giving me your time today. I know my viewers are really going to appreciate this. Well, I certainly do appreciate you giving me your time. Look, we'll see you at Down Royal and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks very much. Anytime. Bye bye.
Thanks, Gordon. Thanks, everyone that's tuned in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a great deal. Completely free to do. And I'll see you all real soon. Bye for now.